500. Oh, hey, guys. You know, I typically review cardio equipment, but guess what, guys? I lift too. And also, I love lifting. I actually like lifting more than cardio, don't tell my channel. Today, we are going to review this Blazzed, we don't know how it's pronounced. If you do, let me know in the comment. Missouri, tomato. Nobody actually knows how it's pronounced. We are gonna review this Blazzed functional trainer, and it is the H1. I have a lot of things to say about it. Now, I love using a functional trainer. I think if you are just starting out your home gym, then a functional trainer is a great piece of equipment to use, to have. I mean, there is a ton of versatility with it. There is a ton of exercises, a ton of movements that you can go ahead and do when you use a functional trainer. We obviously are gonna show you a lot of the movements that we used while testing this Blazzed H1 functional trainer. But again, this is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you can continue to see videos just like this one. And guys, blow up this video so Coop lets me do more strength equipment. I'm sure you guys want to see strength equipment too. You're probably tired of seeing me running on a treadmill and elliptical. So make sure you are subscribed, comment below. Also, if you want to go ahead and purchase this, we've made it super easy. Place a link below the like button. When you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a small commission, allows us to continue doing videos just like this one. And lastly, this was sent to us by the company. However, this is an honest, transparent review. And I do have a couple call outs to this. I am gonna make a couple comparisons, but first let's talk about the details of this H1 functional trainer. Okay, so let's start with how it is constructed. This is a 2.0T, meaning that this is the thickness of the steel on the uprights. When we are looking at a mid-range functional trainer, we're typically looking at a 2.0 to a 2.5T. If you want to spend even more, you're probably going to be looking at a 3.0T in terms of its steel. But for a mid-range functional trainer, I actually think this is pretty decent. So one thing that we did notice is that when we first went ahead, started moving the levers on the uprights, it was pretty sticky. Honestly, it took all of my strength, all of my arm strength to go ahead and move this. And I am not a weak person, guys. I do my bicep curls, okay? So we didn't know why that was. We went ahead, lubed it up, and now it functions so beautifully. I mean, honestly, look at that. I love that. One other thing that I really like about this is that it has aluminum push and pull pins. Basically, it just locks into place, super easy. Again, if you struggle when you get this with it basically getting stuck, then go ahead, throw some lube on it, and then it should function really well. At the time of shooting the video, the price point is marked at $1,799. Now, if it is not on sale, it is $2,499.99. Honestly, I don't think it's worth that $2,499 point. If you are going to spend that much, go ahead and get the Arcadia from REP. I think that it functions just a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Okay, so one thing that I really like about this is that it comes with aluminum pulleys versus nylon pulleys. I think that there are benefits and then cons to both. I am definitely somebody who prefers aluminum pulleys because you'll never really have to replace them. That said, some people do find that nylon pulleys are superior simply because they allow your cables to last a lot longer. And in most cases, your aluminum pulleys are going to be smoother. That's definitely something I have found. I prefer that. However, consider down the road, you may end up having to replace your cable, which to me is better than replacing all of your pulleys like you would have to on a nylon functional trainer. Now, talking about the resistance profile, this goes from 10 pounds all the way up to 160 pounds. They also have kilograms listed, so you either have your weights or your kilograms on your numbers that you can easily see. This is a 2-to-1 ratio. So for somebody who is super strong, I mean, basically the feel weight on this at the top end is only 80 pounds. I think that there are a ton of people who are going to max out that top end. Obviously, this is dual-sided, so you have 80 pounds over here, 80 pounds over here, 160, however you want to look at it. If you are somebody who is very into fitness, I probably wouldn't get this because there's no way to add on extra weight stacks like we see with some other functional trainers. You can buy an extra weight stack add it to your functional trainer, you can't do this. So you are definitely topped out at that 160 pounds. Again, for maybe beginners, intermediate lifters, I think this is totally fine. But for somebody looking to go ahead and like rep out lat pull downs at 200 pounds plus, this is not going to be what you want. And having said that, I still think that that weight is fine for like what most people are going to be lifting. I mean, think about you're doing like cable shoulder raises. I've been doing those for years and I am still only at like 10 to 20 pounds on it. So again, like if you are doing tricep push downs, you're probably not going to be maxing out that 160 pounds typically for most people. So I think that for most people, the waist stack is fine. But again, if you are like some serious power lifter, you have been lifting for a long time, you might want to look elsewhere. I think that a huge selling point to this is like the storage system that they've come up with, because you are essentially able to maneuver all of your attachments super easily just by going ahead and locking these into place. So basically a pegboard allowing you to like hang all the attachments nice and neat. They're not going to be laying on your garage floor. So I do like this, but again, it's super similar to the Arcadia by Rep. So it's not like that they are the only one who has this type of storage system. A couple other things that I like is the fact that they have these hooks on here. You can go ahead and put extra attachments or resistance bands. And then obviously this shelf, so you can go ahead and put your iPad if you're watching Severance like me. So excited. Or go ahead and follow along with a class if you download some sort of like YouTube programming or something to follow along with. I do like that they have kind of that tray system available to say your iPad or your iPhone. The other thing that I like is that all of the handles on the pull-up bars are basically coated in neoprene, which kind of gives it a pretty grippy feel. There's 3 different handle options. So whether you are wanting to wide pull-ups, whether you're wanting to do neutral or close grip, you obviously have a ton of variety that comes with this functional trainer. And going along with like the T.0T, a lot of people don't necessarily know what that means. Like it's not a common thing said on the website. That's what they said. But our research team, aka Sam's wife, went ahead and looked it up for us real quick. And it is actually 11 gauge steel. So again, quality steel on the uprights. I think that that is what most functional trainers should be at if you are looking to spend, again, that like $1,700 to $2,500 on a functional trainer. With the uprights, there are 35 positions that you can go ahead and move the lever arms to, again, creating a lot of movement. One thing I will say is for taller people, I don't necessarily know if like a lat pull down is going to be able to give you that deep stretch unless you're sitting on the ground. Like for me, we went ahead, wheeled up a bench, tested out a wide grip lat pull down, and I was barely at full extension at the top of the movement. I'm 5'4". So if you are taller than that, you have a wide wingspan, you might not be able to hit full extension while using a bench. So I would definitely consider that before I purchase it. Also, another cool thing is when you purchase this, they go ahead and give you one of their benches, adjustable benches for free. It's a $200 bench. Now, I have not tested this bench, but after reading about it, it's probably not the best bench out there. I mean, it's not the best bench out there, but free is free. And if you are somebody who is just starting your home gym, obviously having any sort of extra equipment to be able to use with your functional trainer is a plus. The measurements on this are 85.7 inches high, 57.6 inches wide at the front end, and then 24.1 at the back end. The depth of the total machine is 42.9 inches. So definitely a compact functional trainer, but I still feel like the width on this is pretty good. So if you are doing chest flies, you can definitely get kind of that full extension just by standing forward a little bit. And a lot of people will be able to use it. Now, this is a pretty like solid machine. Again, $1,700 at that sale price. Like this thing is sturdy. Like obviously you're going to have some movement in the back end, but when we're doing pull-ups, when we went ahead and loaded it up to its full weight on both sides, both of us pulled down, like there was no issues with it. I would trust it. I feel like it's solid. Again, constructed with that 11 grain steel. And then also just like everything feels super solid with this. You have your bottom legs, which really add a lot of like counterbalance to it. So even though it doesn't say like there's necessarily a weight capacity on this, I really am not worried about anybody doing pull-ups, pulling down the weight, anything like that. Another cool thing about this is that it is free shipping, which obviously you don't want to pay for shipping on a machine that's going to weigh 500-ish pounds, like that's going to be a huge shipping cost. So shipping is free, and then it does take about 3 to 5 days to go ahead and ship to you to your doorstep. Now, the assembly on this is not hard. I mean, if you've put together any sort of functional trainer, it's like step by step. The only thing I would say is make sure you have somebody with you so that they can go ahead, kind of hold these inner rods while you are loading up the weight stack to it. And then again, just give yourself like 1 to 2 hours with a buddy in order to assemble all the pieces. Okay, and then a couple things just to consider. If I'm going to spend $1,700 on one piece of equipment, I would personally choose like a functional trainer over maybe like a squat rack or something, only because it gives you a wide variety of movements that you can do, whereas with a squat rack, you can squat, you can bench, maybe do some shoulder to overhead, but you're not getting any sort of that accessory work. And again, like this is just up to your goals. If you're a power lifter, this is not the first thing I would buy, but if you are somebody who's just looking for like functional fitness, wanting to gain some muscle, wanting to get stronger, I do think going with a functional trainer is a great first piece of equipment. And then the last thing I would say is, again, I probably would recommend this at the sale price of $17.99. I would not recommend this at that $24.99. So for whatever reason, if that sale price goes away, I'd probably point you to the Arcadia by Rep. I'd probably point you in a different direction just because I think the Arcadia by Rep specifically functions a little bit better. It's a little bit beefier, and I've used it a ton. I just honestly really like it. Versus this one, there's just a different feel to it. Like when you've used a ton of functional trainers, you can kind of recognize the difference in how it feels, the resistance profile, how it functions. And I would say, again, at that $17.99, yeah, 100%. Like if that's what you want to spend your money on, there's no major call-outs that I have to this machine. But if it's not on sale, again, I'd probably point you in a different direction. But let me know your favorite functional trainer in the comments below, regardless of price. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want me to review more strength equipment again, please let me know in the comments and let me know what you want me to review. This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews.